Do you know what improvements Titan TV Man will get and why he will become Cinemaman again? Do you remember this question that Fordell asked Boom? Boom said that in some episodes there were important details that we didn't notice, and I can tell you that I found some of them, and they're truly insane. And just so you know, even in episode 76, there was a crazy detail that absolutely no one noticed. I'm gonna show it to you right away. And if you stop the video in this frame, you can see the freaking collar on the neck of this mutant, and it is actually connected to these signs. And believe me, you will be shocked when I will tell you more about it. But besides that, we have exclusive information about episodes 76 and 77 from Mr. Defuk Boom himself. And you'll be surprised what's in store for us. But in general, in this video, we will talk about different details and also about the plot of future episodes. The information will be mind-blowing, so be sure to stay to the end if you want to know more than others. Hello friends, you're on the Dattebayo channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button under the video to speed up the release of the next video. And let's go. And first, we're going to talk about some of the details that I and other viewers have noticed. And the thing is that some of the toilets from the early episodes had red eyes, and now there's a lot of controversy around that. And the first toilet with red eyes appeared in episode 5, and then we saw a dude with red eyes again in episode 10. But there were actually a lot more, but I don't see the point in talking about all of them. But the main question everyone is asking is whether they were astro toilets, because we know that red eyes are a feature of astro toilets. Honestly, I would say that it's definitely not astro toilets, because I doubt that in the 10th episode, Boom thought out the whole plot, as it is impossible. And the series was originally a big meme that has grown into the most trending series on YouTube. But I don't think we need to consider the early episodes because there was no specific plot. I mean, there was the plot, and it started in episode 7. But still, I think Boom reworked it a few times. And there was just the main idea of the toilets opposing the agents. And we do not need to pay attention to such details as red eyes, because most likely it was just random. And to prove it to you, I will show you these guys who have visible human neck. As well as similar was even in the 28th episode, a speakerman also had visible skin. And the fact that Boom did not work out the models and use standard human models and put on them mechanical body parts that would dudes became iron agents. And Boom started to work on the models after episode 30, because in episode 38, the speakerman didn't have any skin on his neck. And when the full-length episodes started to come out, we didn't see such little details. So I think it is not necessary to pay attention to the old episodes, but still you should understand something. Although the old episodes hardly have any importance, but do not forget that at any time Boom can rewrite the story. Or would it be better to say he will add some details that can make us review the early episodes? And he already did it when he changed the description in episode 51. And I've said it many times, but he can change the description for any episode. For example, he's going to write in the description for episode 5 that it's the first appearance of astro toilets and then we'll all go crazy. But you have to realize that he can't rewrite the plot like that many times because it would be wild. But despite all that, there were other details in the old episodes that had their reasons for being there. And one of the craziest details is the strange flying thing in episode 7. And if you slow it down as much as possible, you can see that it's not some random object. It's definitely something that's flying in a certain place. And if you look closely at this thing, it looks like a fighting jet. And I suspect that it's a human jet that has spotted enemies in the form of G-Man and other toilets. Or it could be an astro toilet. Although I told you a couple of seconds ago that I doubt that astro toilets were in the early episodes. So I personally think this is a military jet. But as always, drop your theories in the comments. But there are other crazy details, and they are more real as they have been in recent episodes. And I'll tell you that Boom probably hid some important details in about the last 10 episodes, if you ask me. Maybe even in the last 15 episodes, starting with episode 60. Because episode 60 was one of the most important episodes for the whole plot. And I think we should start our search from there. But you know what the most talked about topic is right now? The rock. Specifically the goddamn chair that's literally built into the rock. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks a hell of a lot like a chair. But I don't really believe it's a chair. And I think we started going crazy because of the sinister aura of that chair. And usually when people go crazy, they see something even if it's not there. The shape of a chair and everything, and it's madness. But still I can't say 100% that it's not a chair. Maybe it is. But if Boom meant details like this chair in the rock, that's really crazy because it's impossible to find. Anyway, write down what you see here. Either I going crazy or it's really a chair. But there's another funny thing about the chair that was in episode 76. As you know, in episode 76, the chair started moving, but no one wondered why. What I'm about to say is going to sound wild, but it seemed to me that the chair was looking at the body of this cameraman who was wearing gray pants. And by the way, it looks like Bro peed himself and it's all wild as much as possible. But what's interesting is that the chair also turned to this strange thing that moved on its own. First it turned to the body of the cameraman, then to this thing, and it seems to me that it's all connected. By the way, if you look closely, there is something sticking out of this thing, as if it were a thin tree. And it really looks like an unrendered tree. But even if it is, why is it moving? Honestly, the more we get into the details, the more confusing it gets. So my head's about to explode with these thoughts. So I'll leave it up to you. And now let's talk about astro toilets and what the signs mean. If you remember, in my analysis, I showed you what it could mean. And we came to the conclusion that these symbols stand for Earth. And people have different theories about it. Some say that this is like a rank, that these are the lowest ranking toilets. Some say that this squad specializes in battles on Earth. Others say that this symbol indicates which planet the astro toilets want to take over. And these are all good theories, but in reality, it's much simpler than you think. And for some reason, absolutely no one noticed the collar on this dude's neck. And if you are not convinced by this photo, look carefully in slow motion. You can see that there is a collar on his neck. But then, what do these symbols mean? It's simple. They mean control. And just for fun, I asked ChatGPT what these symbols might mean, and this is the answer I got. You can read all the options, but I'll just read the main one. The symbol could be a technological marker indicating that the character is under the control of an external force, which may be part of larger plotline about mind control and manipulation. And you know what's funny about all this? I didn't mention to ChatGPT about the collar around the mutant's neck, and ChatGPT just drew that conclusion based on those symbols. And if we take the collar into account, it's obvious that these guys are under someone's control with that collar. Perhaps the role of the collar is different, and it was made to protect information. And as we know that usually in movies who wears such a collar, his head explodes if he breaks a rule or tries to escape, the Astro leaders could install them on the toilets, so that if one of them is caught by the agents, they would not be able to torture him and he would be destroyed through this collar. But then why don't other Astro toilets, for example, who fly have this collar? It's obvious because they have helmets through which they are also monitored and can probably blow their brains out if they get caught. But even if we take it even simpler, you'll agree that the weaker toilets who move on the ground are easier to catch than those crazy big guys who fly in the air. And that's why the collar is a safety feature and for control. I'm almost 100% sure of it, as there are too many details, but still be sure to write what you think about it. But what about the Cinemaman? I assumed that Bro TV Man would go back to his earlier version, or rather it would be a brand new mix of Cinemaman and Astrotech, and now I'll explain why. And it all ties in with the question that Razorplay asked Boom, namely that Astro toilets are vulnerable to high-frequency sounds, and obviously Boom didn't answer that because in my opinion it's true. And who can use sonic attacks? That's right, it's Titan Speakerman and Cinemaman. I'm literally sure that Speakerman should get improvements that boost his sonic attacks. Plus, they will use Astro technology since TV Scientist has a claw. And although it may seem that TV Race don't intend to share Astro technology, but they will have no choice since you must agree that with current improvements, Titans can't do anything against Astro toilets. And if the series was already ending, I would say that the Titans will not get any more improvements. But since after the Astro arc, there will be one more final arc, it makes sense to improve the Titans. So I expect that TV Men will become a Cinemaman, and will be able to use powerful sonic waves against Astro toilets. The same will be with Speakerman, because Bro really deserves to get new perks, because throughout the series he did not get any improvements and was the weakest of the Titans. And I really believe that his time has come. And the Titans better hurry up and improve as what you see becomes real. But what about exclusive information? My buddy Elite Cameraman got info that in episode 76 part 2, there will be a new character that Boom simps for. Well, we've already heard that Boom will be joining the Simp Squad, but I didn't expect it to happen in the next episode, and for obvious reasons, it would be a human character. Because there is no way Bro will be simp for the toilets or robots, but it could still be a Skibidi female mutant, like Mommy Mutant. And I'm surprised Boom didn't start simping for Mommy Mutant, and it's hard to believe that someone hotter than Mommy would show up in the show. But based on this information, it will be easy to predict what will be in the new episode. And since there will be a new female character, it means that the Alliance will again fight with Astro, and they will again unite with Skibidi toilets as it was in episode 75, and it is one of the Skibidi female mutant will be this character. Or maybe we'll see a camera woman squad that finds new humans, and there will be that character. And that's very likely. And the next information was very important, because Boom said that the 77th episode will be divided into 3 parts, and there we will see one of the most important characters in the series, and I'm already starting to hype about it. But still, I will have a more detailed video about the plot even before episode 76 part 2, so write your theories and maybe they will be in that video.